Hi, Tom. So, hold there. So we were talking about a couple of other different chord variations there, namely nines and sixes. So, couple of things about that about these ones that are not obvious necessarily from the name. So let's say if we take a minor nine, let's say E minor nine, as opposed to E minor add 9. So we already know that one, right? So with E minor add 9, it's just a minor chord and you're adding the 9. So there's, let's call that one. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Rest of the chord, E minor add 9. Now an E minor 9 has a 9, but it also has a 7th in it as well. So if you wanted to make that into a minor 9 as opposed to a minor add 9, there's your 7th there. So there's the 8th, there's an E note, bring it down by 2, that makes it a 7th, and that's E minor 9. I broke a string on my other guitar. So if you want a way to do that that's actually movable, then what you can do is come up here, middle finger on the root note, 7th fret on the A string, minor 3rd, 2 frets down on the next string, minor 7th here, 7th fret on the G, then 7th fret also on the B string, which gives you an F sharp. There's your 9. So there's your 7, there's your 9. And as for the 5th is not redundant by any stretch, but you can generally, because it tends not to vary like the 3rd or the 7th or anything like that. It's pretty much always that 7 semitone gap between the 1st and the 5th. You can afford to leave it out without ruining the essence of the chord, basically. So it's not essential, really. But in this case, if you want to leave it in, there it is, B. So there's E minor add 9, or E minor 9, not as opposed to add 9, because it's got the 7th in there as well. Okay, so, and that one is movable then. Now, for major 9, then, what we're talking about is obviously the 3rd needs to come up, and the 7th is going to be a major 7th as well, so that's going to come up too. Very tasty chord. Another way you could do it, maybe a bit of a finger buster here, but it just really in terms of the theory and knowing how to construct these chords for yourself when you need them. So you've got your E major. I'm holding down these two with both of them with one finger. There's my major 7th, and there, 2nd fret on the E string, that's where the 9 is. Tricky one, but again, you don't need to do that. You can just come up here if you want it with E, and this is a movable one as well. So 1st, major 3rd, major 7th, 9. And if you really want the 5th, you can sort of bend your 3rd finger in the way like that and get that on the same fret as the 9th on the next string. Tricky ones. Okay, so now what's different? So we've got E major 9, E minor 9, but E9 is kind of like a combination of the two of them, right? So E9 is your classic funk chord, right? So what an E9 has, it's the same as the other two, only it's got a major 3rd but a minor 7th, right? So there's your root, major 3rd, minor 7th. So now this on its own would be kind of like just a dominant 7th chord, but then you're adding the 9 in there as well. So root, major 3rd, minor 7th, 9, 5th. Okay, so on the 6th, then what we've got is so this is a little bit simpler. With major chords, you're just adding the 6th in the scale to the chord, right? So let's say if we take A, there's our A note there. So we'll call that 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A6. And as I said, you know, it's important to kind of associate a particular feeling with that chord, just so you know when you need it and when it's appropriate. An apathetic shrug, I think, is the word I used for it. So yeah, whatever that evokes in your head. E6. There's your sixth. Because you know that already because that's your seventh there. That's your minor seventh. Remember, an E7 is an E major with a minor seventh in it, right? So that's your lower seventh. So you go any lower than that, now you're on the sixth. So that's E6. What else do we have? We've got A, C. If you just hold down, so basically you can play an A minor. So we're getting that fifth. There's the fifth. G note in the C chord. So if we bring that up to an A and maintain the bass note, there's C6. D6, really easy. There's D major 7, there's D7. We take this down another one, we're at the sixth, so it's just those two. And G6, G major 7, G7, G6. Although you're better, with that one I think you're better off holding down the B string on that D note there on the fifth. It's just just a bit of a better texture in my opinion. Now, minor 6 chords on the other hand are a little bit weird because if you were to follow the logic through and let's say if we take E minor, we want to make an E minor 6. Get our E minor, we'll call that 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you'd think, presumably, then that's your E minor 6, but it's not. A minor 6 chord is a minor chord with a major 6 in it, right? So that's E minor 6. So let's go down through the basic ones. You got A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sharpen it to the major. There's A minor 6. D minor 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sharp it. There it is there. Really nice one, that one. E minor 6, we already did that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for your major shape, minor shapes. You know, you can bring it up the fretboard, add the 7 in there as well. When you have, I don't think we mentioned this in the lesson, but when you have a minor chord with a minor 7th and that major 6th in it as well, what you end up with is a 13 chord, so minor third. So that here, let's say, if we're taking A minor 7 up to C minor 7, or you could take it anywhere else, it's arbitrary. Add that major 6 in there, that's C minor 13. Again, really tasty kind of chord. Or another thing you could do, let's say G minor 7. So you got that E minor 7 shape here, E minor. Taking this one down for E minor 7. Let's bring it up to G. G minor 7, G minor 13. Okay, oh yeah, other than that then, Autumn Leaves. So this is just the way, you know, it's one of those classics. There's about a million different ways to do it, but the way I like to do it is bring it up here. So we're going to be playing it in the key of D minor. So A minor up 5. And you start off with a D minor 7. Well, I'll just call them by their shapes. So this is actually a G minor 7, but, you know, we're capoed up, but we'll ignore that for now. So D minor 7. D minor 7 with G in the bass. C major 7. F major 7. One of my favorites, B minor 7 flat 5. So that's 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. Okay, kind of a zigzag shape. E7. And then A minor 6 at the end. Now, again, I was saying that that's A minor 6, right? But we can just take that 6th down the octave, and it's the same chord, just with a different texture. And it's nice if you kind of go down chromatically from it as well to end up at the actual chord. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Okay, so see what you can do with that. And again, just kind of attach a few little words or sort of feelings or whatever you want to say to those different chord types, just so you know when they're appropriate. And so you've got the formula for them, you know, for major nines, for example, you've got your root, major third, fifth, major seventh, and ninth. So you've got the formula on the one hand, and next to that then the much less mathematical sort of feeling that you would associate with it, just so you know when you actually need the chord as well and when it would be appropriate. All right, have a good one. I'll talk to you next time.